What if I told you that the most powerful medicine in your neighborhood might be growing in the exact places everyone ignores? Along broken sidewalks, behind old fences, in empty lots, through cracks in parking lots, and deep inside the weeds people spend their entire lives trying to destroy. Plants that ancient healers protected, plants warriors carried into battle, plants mothers brewed into medicine long before pharmacies existed, plants that survived floods, fires, empires, plagues, and centuries of human forgetfulness. And somehow, they're still here, still growing, still healing, still waiting for someone to remember them. The strange thing is, modern society trained us to see these plants as worthless. We spray them, mow them, poison them, rip them out of the earth before they can spread. But what if the real problem isn't the weeds? What if the real problem is that we forgot how to recognize medicine when it grows naturally? Because while billion-dollar industries convince people healing only comes from expensive pills and complicated prescriptions, nature has quietly continued producing free remedies season after season without asking for anything in return. And tonight, you're about to discover the forgotten world hiding beneath your feet. Plants that stop bleeding, plants that calm inflammation, plants that soothe the lungs, plants that support the liver, plants that ancient cultures believed could pull sickness directly out of the body. And one of these plants became so trusted throughout history that people carried it during deadly outbreaks because they believed it could protect entire families from disease. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you may never look at weeds the same way again. The first plant doesn't look powerful at all. Tiny white flowers, soft green leaves, growing quietly near roadsides and abandoned gardens. Most people walk past yarrow without ever noticing it, but thousands of years ago, wounded soldiers searched desperately for this plant on battlefields, because yarrow had a reputation that bordered on legendary. Traditional healers crushed the leaves directly into wounds to stop bleeding almost immediately. And modern science later confirmed that yarrow contains compounds capable of helping blood clot faster while reducing inflammation at the same time. Think about how incredible that is. A wild plant, growing freely in fields, acting like nature's emergency first aid kit. But yarrow didn't only stop bleeding. People brewed it into tea for fevers, used it for stomach pain, applied it to infected cuts. Some even believed the plant carried protective spiritual energy during war. And strangely enough, it still grows almost everywhere today, quietly waiting beside roads while people drive past searching for medicine in stores. Then there's wood sorrel. A tiny plant most people mistake for clover. But the moment you taste one leaf, everything changes. A bright lemon flavor explodes across your tongue. Sharp, fresh, alive. Long before vitamins were discovered, sailors and travelers searched for sour wild plants like wood sorrel because they noticed something important. The people who ate them stayed healthier during long journeys. Traditional cultures used wood sorrel to cool fevers, improve digestion, and restore strength during exhaustion. And once again, the plant still grows freely in lawns and gardens all over the world, while most people treat it like garbage. But some plants feel almost designed specifically for healing. Take jewelweed, a delicate orange-flowered plant growing in damp, shady places. What makes jewelweed extraordinary is where it grows. Again and again, people noticed it appearing beside poison ivy, not randomly, not occasionally, directly beside it. And for centuries, traditional healers crushed jewelweed stems onto poison ivy rashes because it reduced the burning itch almost immediately. Imagine the message hidden there, nature placing the remedy beside the poison, as if the earth itself understands balance better than we do. And then there's mullein, tall, silver green, covered in soft, fuzzy leaves. The kind of plant you notice while driving down country roads but never think about again. Ancient healers thought differently. They called mullein the lung plant. Its leaves were brewed into teas for coughs, asthma, chest congestion, and breathing problems. Steam from the plant was inhaled during illness. The flowers were infused into oils for earaches. And strangely, holding a mullein leaf almost feels like touching soft lung tissue itself. Traditional medicine believed plants often revealed their purpose through appearance. Whether that's coincidence or something deeper, mullein earned one of the strongest reputations in herbal history for respiratory healing. But the deeper you go into forgotten plant medicine, the stranger the story becomes, because many of these plants grow strongest in damaged places. compacted soil, burned ground, road edges, neglected land, almost as if nature sends healing exactly where destruction happens. Take plantain weed, not the banana-like fruit, the low green weed growing flat against sidewalks and trails everywhere humans walk. Native Americans reportedly called it white man's footprint because it appeared wherever settlers traveled. But despite arriving alongside destruction, the plant became medicine. People crushed the leaves onto bee stings, cuts, burns, splinters, and insect bites. The plant pulled heat from wounds while calming swelling and irritation. Some even called it nature's bandage. And modern studies later confirmed antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory compounds inside the leaves. Then came dandelion, the weed people hate more than almost any other. Bright yellow flowers invading perfect suburban lawns every spring. Millions of dollars are spent trying to kill dandelions every year. And yet, traditional medicine systems across Europe, Asia, and indigenous cultures considered dandelion one of the greatest liver support plants in nature. The leaves supported fluid balance. The flowers became medicinal teas and infused oils. Every part of the plant had value. But society declared war on it because it interrupted the image of a perfect lawn. Think about that carefully. A plant once respected for healing became an enemy because it offended landscaping culture. And maybe that tells you everything about modern priorities. Then there's stinging nettle, the plant that punishes you for touching it. One brush against fresh nettle sends fire racing across your skin. And because of that sting, most people avoid it for life. Huge mistake. Because once dried or cooked, nettle transforms into one of the most mineral-rich plants on Earth. Iron, calcium, magnesium, potassium, vitamins A, C, and K. Traditional healers use nettle for joint pain, seasonal allergies, weakness, fatigue, and inflammation. And modern research actually confirmed that nettle affects inflammatory pathways connected to arthritis and allergy symptoms. The same plant that causes irritation in one form becomes medicine in another. Nature loves paradoxes like that. Then there's red clover, soft pink flowers covering fields every summer, almost decorative. But traditional healers used red clover for blood cleansing, chronic skin conditions, and women's hormonal health for generations. The flowers were dried into teas meant to nourish slowly over time, rather than force dramatic effects overnight. That's something ancient medicine understood deeply. Real healing often happens gradually, quietly, like seasons changing, not instantly. And maybe no plant represents forgotten resilience better than knotweed, a tiny plant growing flat against sidewalks and gravel paths where almost nothing else survives. People step on it every single day without noticing it exists. But knotweed contains compounds traditionally used to strengthen blood vessels and damaged tissues. The symbolism is unbelievable. A plant surviving constant pressure, used to help human bodies endure pressure too. Almost every weed on Earth carries a story like this, a hidden relationship between the plant, the soil, and the people who forgot what it was for. That doesn't mean every ancient claim was perfect. It doesn't mean plants replace modern medicine. And it definitely doesn't mean people should eat random wild plants without proper identification. But it does mean something important was lost. For thousands of years, humans lived close enough to nature to recognize healing when they saw it. Then modern life pulled people away from the land. Knowledge disappeared, traditions broke, and generations grew up believing medicine only exists inside stores and pharmacies. Meanwhile, the plants stayed, still growing after every storm, every war, every civilization, waiting patiently for humanity to notice them again, because the greatest secret about these so-called weeds is that they never stopped working. People simply stopped listening, and maybe that's why they still grow everywhere, pushing through concrete, climbing through forgotten spaces, returning no matter how many times humans try.